Hey there, it's CJ Willie and I'm cracking a pack. Today is pack number 5 in my Magic the Gathering Gatecrash Fat Pack. Once again, I am doing Fat Pack Bingo. Check out the preview video on my Gatecrash Fat Pack. I've added the link to the preview video in the description below. So let's check out the bingo card. In pack number 2, I was able to get Skullcrack. And then because I got Skullcrack, I got the free space. So to get bingo, I just need one of the 5 rare primordials. There's one in each color: white, blue, black, red, and green. If I can just get one of the primordials, I'll get bingo. So let's get to moving my bingo card out of the way and grab pack number 5. Okay, so I've got the remaining packs here, so I'm to pack number 5. As I go through the pack, as I crack it open, I'm going to look at the cards from a very casual, the Magic Gathering point of view. Kitchen table magic, if you will. I'm no Pro Tour grinder. Let's scroll in a little bit. Yeah, about right there. Yep. Okay, first card out of the pack is Angelic Edict. It's 5 mana, 4 and a white. Sorcery, exile target creature or enchantment. You know, with the Theros gods in this Return to Ravnica standard rotation, this could have done a lot of work, but way too expensive. It's limited fodder. Okay, next up is Shadow Alley Denizen, a single black mana, vampire rogue at 1/1. Whenever another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gains Intimidate until end of turn. So kind of a useful creature early on. You don't want to necessarily play it on turn 1 because you'll just not have another creature to give Intimidate. But later on the game, you know, you can give a bigger creature Intimidate. Intimidate is a keyword that we don't see much anymore. Pretty much, you know, Magic features Menace as an evasion type mechanic. Next up is Scav Clan Charger, 4 mana, 3 and a green, Centaur Warrior. It's a 2/4. It has the Blood Rush ability. So this is the first time we're seeing the Gruul mechanic, Blood Rush. Basically, you pay a cost, you discard the card. In this instance, you discard Scav Clan Charger from your hand, and target attacking creature gets +2/+4 until end of turn. So it's meant to be a more aggressive kind of ability. You got to have an attacking creature, you pay the cost, you discard it, and you give the creature a buff. I have a deck where I use Blood Rush. It's more on a red card than it is a green card, but it can get in for a surprising amount of damage or save my attacking creature by giving it a little bit of a buff. Okay, next card we have is Layla Phantom. It's 5 mana, 4 and a blue. Illusion, it's a 5/5. When Layla Phantom deals combat damage, return it to its owner's hand. Nope, not going to play this at all. The last thing I need is for it to get chump block and bounce it back to my hand and be spending 5 mana to just put it back onto the battlefield. Okay, next up is Marshal Glory. Marshal Glory is 1 red, 1 white. Instant, target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. Target creature gets +0/+3 until end of turn. So kind of a nifty combat trick. You know, essentially, if you play it on one creature, you're going to brute force it or giant growth it. If not, you know, this is kind of a nifty trick to buff one of your creatures that might die in combat and then use it to buff an attacker to kill off a creature in combat. Shamble Shark, 1 green, 1 blue. It's a fish crab at 2/1. It has flash and evolve. So, you know, you flash it in, use the really cool Simek mechanic, and the Shamble Shark can get up to 3/2, 4/3 based upon what you're playing later in the game. Madcap skills, 2 mana, 1 and a red. It's an enchantment or enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +3/+0 and can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. So +3/+0 and menace. Madcap skills, really cool card, especially in the Return to Ravnica era with the Boros decks, the red-white decks. Madcap skills, place it on a smaller creature, give it menace, and with it being aggressive, you're attacking for quite a bit of damage. Balustrading Spy, 4 mana, 3 and a black, vampire rogue at 2/3. It's a flyer. When Balustrading Spy enters the battlefield, target player reveals cards from the top of his or her library until he or she reveals the land card, then puts those cards into his or her graveyard. So going off of the mill strategy in Gatecrash, a lot of the mill cards said, okay, mill until your opponent hits a land. Or in this instance, it could be yourself, but in Gatecrash, it was a blue-black mill deck, mill out your opponent. I play a mill deck, but blue-black is not how I feature it. Ivy Lane Denizen, 4 mana, 3 in the green, Elf Warrior, 2/3. So 4 mana, 2/3s back to back. Whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So it goes into kind of the hardened scales sort of effect. You play this, you put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature. If you got hardened scales out, that's 2 +1/+1 counters. Death's Approach, single black mana, enchantment or enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets -X, where X is the number of creature cards in its controller's graveyard. So this actually is a pretty cool card. In a blue-black mill deck, by the time you get 4, 5, 6 creatures into their graveyard, you're going to be able to kill just about any creature. Unfortunately, it's at sorcery speed, but it can be as bad as a dead weight and as good as, you know, giving a creature -6, you know. Our first uncommon is Gruul Keyrune, 3 generic mana. It's an artifact. You can tap it and add either 1 red or 1 green to your mana pool. You can also pay a red and a green, and Gruul Keyrune becomes a 3/2 red and green beast artifact creature with trample until the end of turn. So this is Boros' turn of having a Keyrune you can turn on. A 3/2 Trampler isn't where I want to necessarily sink 2 mana per turn, but in the limited format, this is pretty useful because it could either tap for mana or you could have an extra creature to block or attack. Our next uncommon is Rapid Hybridization, single blue mana. It's an instant, destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. That creature's controller puts a 3/3 green frog lizard creature token onto the battlefield. So this is one of the blue cards where they dabbled in destroy a creature. You got rid of a creature, but you gave them a 3/3, sort of like a beast within effect. Rapid Hybridization is an uncommon that does have a little bit of value. It's usually bouncing around $1 to $2 in value. Currently on TCG market price, it's around $2.15. So it's a card that I've played before in a blue deck. Usually if you destroy their creature, you know, you give them the 3/3 token, you bounce the token. The problem is it's 2 for 1. It's a cool card, but I don't currently feature it in one of my decks. The final uncommon that we have, I went too fast and I spoiled that I've got a mythic. That's a bummer. So Simek Flux Mage is our final uncommon. 3 mana, 2 in a blue, Merfolk Wizard. It has Evolve. It's a 1/2. You can pay 1 in a blue, tap it, and move a +1/+1 counter from Simek Flux Mage on target creature. So as it evolves, you can take the counter and put it on another creature and help that creature grow. I really have not played much with this card. I do have a blue-green deck where I feature a little bit of the evolve mechanic. The problem is taking turns off to tap it and move the counter, I think is a little counterproductive because I'm wanting to do other shenanigans. I would rather use an instant or a sorcery to place counters on than waiting to evolve this creature and then moving the counter to another creature. And then second pack in a row where I've pulled a mythic. This time I've got Obsolete, Ghost Council, 1 generic mana, 2 white, 2 black. It's a 5/5 legendary creature, Spirit Advisor. When Obsolete Ghost Council enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. At the beginning of your end step, you may exile Obsolete. If you do, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of your next end step. Upkeep. It gains haste. So a really cool card. I know in the Return to Ravnica block, this card was featured in different decks, you know, an Orzhov deck, an Esper deck. It's a really cool card. I don't have a copy of it. I really wanted to get a copy of it, not where I'd spend money for it, even though it's a relatively cheap card. But I've wanted just to have it and put it into one of my Orzhov or Esper decks and see how it will work out. And then I've got a Forest and looks like an ad card. Wished it was a token. So my favorite card out of the pack, or best card out of the pack, I'm going to go, since none of Rapid Hybridization is a cool card, but none of the uncommons really are exciting. Like I said, I like to play Esper. I like to play control decks, whether they're blue-white, Azorius or Orzhov or Esper. Those are the colors I enjoy playing. So getting Obsolete Ghost Council at Mythic is pretty cool. I think, with the ability to exile it and return it to its to my control, and it's basically a 4-point life swing. They lose 2, I gain 2. That's something that's really cool and something I really want to try out. So even though I wasn't able to, I was able to mark off a bingo square. This is really cool. I should really pay attention to my bingo card, because one of the things I wanted to get was one of the legendary guild members that's at Mythic Rare. So I will mark off this square, and in the next video I will have it featured as one of the bingo squares that I've been able to get me closer to bingo. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please subscribe and share. Take some time to tell me in the comments section what was your favorite card or best card out of the pack. Until next time, when I'm back to crack pack number 6 from my Magic the Gathering Gatecrash Fat Pack, featured in Fat Pack Bingo.